Hello, welcome to Family Movie Night, where we'll be talking about what we watch for Family Movie Night. I'm Mike, and today we are talking about Home Alone 2 Lost, Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. This is the 1992 sequel to the surprise smash hit Home Alone, which came out in 1990. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. The premise is Kevin is separated from his family again when he accidentally boards a flight to New York City during a Christmas trip to Miami. However, he crosses paths with the same burglars who now plan to rob a toy store on Christmas Eve. So, this also stars a lot of the same people from before. So, we've got Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara, John Hurd, but then we also have such individuals as Tim Curry, Rob Schneider, Brenda Fricker, Dana Ivey, and Duncan, and Eddie Bracken as the toy store owner, Mr. Duncan. So, did I thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle? I'm giving this kind of similar to the first Home Alone, thumbs three quarters up. And a big reason why is because this also, like the original Home Alone, my opinion on this has drastically changed now that I'm a parent. So, the very thought of a child being resourceful enough to make it in New York City, that's pretty fantastic, but also completely unrealistic. Also, that like perhaps the greatest thing about this movie is the existence of the talk boy, because I had a talk boy growing up. My sister had a talk boy growing up, and it was something that just was amazing. It was like one of the hit toys of 1992 when this came out. I remember going to see this in theaters a couple of times, and this was a lot of fun. But this movie is also one of the reasons why I do not sit in the front row of movies anymore. And this isn't as big of a problem anymore, but sitting in the front row of movie theaters when you're having bricks hurled at you is hilarious, but it's also kind of terrifying as well. So, what are some of the things that I like about Home Alone 2? Well, Macaulay Culkin is still great. He's still really sharp. You can tell that he has progressed a little bit as a performer. The dynamic between him and the family is still really great. And the dynamic between Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, Harry and Marv, is still really great as well. I think they have upgraded Chicago for New York, kind of upping the ante a lot in New York City, whereas not like a house, not just like a big giant house, but also now it's the biggest city in the US. Some things that I kind of struggled with a little bit. Kevin's a straight up criminal in this. So he commits credit card fraud, he creates wire fraud, he pretty much almost killed both of those guys because the pranks at the end, the ante has been upped on all of them really, really bad, to the point where they're like borderline dangerous now. Granted, they are funny. I will give them that. But I even found that my kids weren't laughing as much because of how, over the top violent some of them were. Like, I can think of at least four or five things that probably would have severely injured or, if not, completely killed them. So there's that. We're retreading pretty much most of the stuff that happens in the original Home Alone as well. Is that Kevin has a fight with his family. He gets separated from them. They try to find a way to get him back. Kevin befriends somebody who is kind of an outsider, and Kevin has to duke it out with the wet bandits, or in this case, the sticky bandits. It is literally plot for plot, pretty much the exact same thing as the first movie. I think the only difference here is that the trip that Kevin's mom, Kate, takes in order to get Kevin, it's not as pronounced in this, and you spend way less time with Kevin's family and Kevin's mom and dad trying to figure out how to get Kevin back. And then in addition to that, that kind of leaves a little bit less time for us to really understand the family dynamic that they have between the two of them. How the wet bandits get to New York is kind of ridiculous. Why would they go to New York? Why wouldn't they, just escape somewhere? I will give them credit. I do like the addition of the Toy Story and the Mr. Duncan thing. I thought that was interesting. And all the scenes at the Plaza Hotel are fun. I think it's hilarious that they had a pool scene at the Plaza Hotel, even though the Plaza doesn't have a pool. So that's fun. But overall, I still enjoy this enough that I laughed. I still had fun. This brought back some nostalgic memories. Yeah, like this is a good one-two punch. Like anybody who says that Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone is crazy because that is clearly not the case. Because I think Kevin grows up a lot more in the first one as opposed to the second one, which he ends up he ends up being separated by he ends up being separated from his family, but the struggle that everybody has in order to, come to this general conclusion that like, hey, Kevin's been separated from us. We got to find a way to find him. That becomes more pronounced at the end when Kate starts looking for him all around New York. How Kate finds him is pretty heartwarming. And the fact that, Kevin again says he doesn't want any presents, he just wants his mom. I think that's a nice touch. Again, I wish that they would have had more time between Kevin and his mom when they're actually like being civil to one another, but whatever, it's fine. So overall, this movie is good, just like the original one. I have complicated feelings about this now that I'm a parent myself, but overall, still a lot of fun. Didn't learn a whole lot from this, minus the fact that, hey, family is still important, right? And credit card fraud is much easier to do in the 90s as opposed to it today. So that's going to do it for this episode of Family Movie Night. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew, wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website at spdmcrew.com. Follow us on Letterboxd at MLHilty2452 and follow our list labeled Family Movie Night. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. Check out the other shows on our network. We've got a lot of great content. Really proud of the work that everyone does. So please check out the other shows and support the SPDM crew. And finally, if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, happy watching, friends.